What's up? Hope everyone had a great day today. Just got a little bit to say, nothing too crazy. Just talking about. I saw this video about this lady named Gladys Gladys McGrady. I normally don't write stuff down, but I thought this would be a little bit more constructive for me instead of going off of tangents. Here we go. She was talking about important L's in life. First one is life, and just how I would say just to be appreciative of this life. And the second one she was talking about is love. And from there, she was basically saying life without love is kind of brutal, and I totally agree. If you're living out of self-love and no one else, it's kind of a lonely life. You kind of get what you want sometimes if you're lucky, but kind of miserable, I would say, deep down. Third L is laughter, and laughter without love is, it's pretty lonely. Again, like it just feels almost like an empty, I would say, especially if you're doing it to just mitigate the pain. It's kind of like just a shield to not allow people to really truly see you, and I can relate to that for sure. But if you add love to laughter, it just makes everything more vibrant. You're with people you love and you're laughing, you enjoy yourself more. You do it out of love instead of almost like a distraction tactic to really talk about things. But also, laughter is a way to show your love to people. If you're making people laugh or people are making you laugh, most of the time they love you. Especially your friends that make fun of you about things that they should make fun of you about. I think that really means someone does care about you, and they can pick on you and you can take it, hopefully. Hopefully it's not something too too personal, but I would say I have a lot of things that I can be made fun of because of the stupid decisions I made, but they're kind of doing it out of love. I would say they're doing it out of love. The fourth L is labor. Most people need to work, or if you don't work, I don't know what you do with yourself, but labor without love is extremely difficult. If you're not going back to a loving home, and you don't feel like the people appreciate you at home, and there's no love in that home, it's probably hard to wake up and go do your desk job and type away or just go through the motions of each day. I think at the basis of who humans are, we are loving creatures. And when you have a house full of love, it makes that job or that hard work you're putting in through the day a little bit more manageable. Speaking from experience, I would say also doing something that you love, working hard but enjoying that work, makes it 10 times more valuable to you. The saying, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. I really I can say just for myself that that's very true. And just knowing that money is not the root of all happiness. Granted, we need money to pay bills and we need money to do the things we like to do, but if that's what you're chasing, you're never going to have enough money. Just my opinion. And the last L she said is listening. So if you're just, yep, Sure, it's kind of barely giving that person any attention. Bet you they feel that. But if you listen with love, you're actually giving a response back that's like it's a caring, it's showing care. If you actually engage in the conversation instead of just walking through the motions of just getting through the conversation, that person may feel like they can't speak their mind to you. But when you engage, like I said, they're happier to talk to you. They're more willing to express themselves, be who they truly are. Because at the end of the day, I think love is really about recognizing that we're all human beings. Like recognizing your coworker you may not enjoy, but still just listening and loving them by engaging with them. Or what I really like to do is, since I've been in difficult situations, when I see someone in a difficult situation, instead of just kind of passing them by like they mean nothing, those are the people that I can relate to the most. And try to make them feel like a human being. And specifically like people that are homeless, or like I said, going through tough times. They may not feel any love or very minimal amount of love throughout their day. Instead of just throwing them the change, I feel, my personal opinion, that if you show them care and you love them by just interacting with them and having a real human conversation, that goes a lot longer than your 50 cents or your dollar. Because we, as humans, I believe that we long for personal connection. That lady is smart. She's 103. She wrote a book. I think it's called A Well-Lived Life, something like that. Check her out. Read the book. I'm gonna try and find the book myself at a library or buy it. But this kind of just brings me into what I really wanted to talk about, which is scripture about love. I know there's the 10 Commandments. I'll go over those after this, but the two greatest commandments, and here we go. I'm just going to read it from scripture. It's Matthew 22, 36 through 40. And it goes, "Teacher, which is the most important commandment in the laws of Moses?" Jesus replied, "You must love the Lord your God with all your heart, your soul, and all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. The second is equally important. Love your neighbor as yourself. The entire law and all the demands of the prophets are based on these two commandments." And the 10 Commandments are, thou shalt have no other God before me. It's pretty self-explanatory. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven images, idols, cars, clothes, job, sports, an item, or something that's not glorifying God. You're kind of taking your away from, like, oh, that athlete is my idol. Or it's not that you can't enjoy the athlete, but to put that person up on a pedestal as this, he does no wrong, he's a perfect human. You don't know that person. You don't know that person in real life. Scottie Pippen, if you're watching this, I'm talking to you. Kind of told me off when I was a 10-year-old kid, and all I wanted to do was say hello. When you meet your idols, sometimes they really let you down, but Jesus will never do that. Third commandment is, thou shalt not take the name of Lord thy God in vain. Basically saying OMG or Jesus Christ as a swear. I am working on that, and swearing in general. I still swear quite a bit, so I'm not perfect by any means. Still a sinner. Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. Sundays are Christians, Saturdays for Jews. Just keep it holy. And I think that you should keep every day holy. I don't think it should just be one day. But maybe that's just me. I think that you should walk with the intention to make the best of every single day. Because if you're just living for that one day out of the week, 1/7 of your week is good, and then the rest of it you're just miserable. I think that's kind of setting the bar pretty low. Next one is honor thy father and thy mother. Working on this one. It's easier said than done for some people. A lot of people have a very difficult situation with their parents, and I understand. I've not always been the most loving child to my parents. But when you do love them and you start to try and see why they act the way they do, or why they're telling you not to do this, or you try to put yourself in their shoes, it's a whole new perspective that I think you could actually really learn from, so that you don't have to learn every single thing. Moose is going to the potty. It's a very important thing, I believe, because without them too, you wouldn't be here. And they make half of you, both of them. Thou shalt not kill. Do I need to say anything on that? Thou shalt not commit adultery. Not to cheat on your partner mostly pertains to marriage, but I'd imagine he was talking about your girlfriend, boyfriend too. Just, if you don't love them anymore, or you don't care about them, instead of cheating on them, just bite the bullet and move on. Can't cook your cake and eat at the same time. Thou shalt not steal. Not to steal from others. Yes, corporations as well. If you can't afford it, just don't take it. I've stolen a lot and sinned a lot, so I'm not judging. I'm just reading what God told Moses. So if you got a problem with it, take it up with the Lord, not me. I didn't make the rules. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Spreading false testimony. This one has to deal with lying and leading people astray from the word. Just don't lie. I hate liars. It's probably my biggest pet peeve. And it just ruins someone's trust in other people. And when you're speaking false doctrine, makes people really fall away from God. So just tell the truth. And thou shalt not covet. Be jealous of something someone else has, envy and greed, and to show gratitude for what you have and not what you don't. What I wrote down was, doesn't mean you shouldn't have goals, but if you can't appreciate what you have now, it makes life a little harder. And what's to say that when you get all the things that you like, that you're still not going to be grateful? And it's just, you're always going to be wanting more and more and more. And I truly think that life's about the journey, not the destination. And I've heard that so many times from other people. And you gotta enjoy now. Who says that you won't even make your goal and then you're just gonna be miserable? Or something else comes up and you switch your goal, and this whole time you could have been loving the things you were doing. Or you say you lose a loved one and you missed out on the opportunity to love them, even though they sometimes make it really difficult to love them. But like those 2 commandments I said in Matthew, if you love your God with all your heart and you love thy neighbor as you love yourself, I think those 10 commandments are really, that's broken down really simply. Love God, love yourself, love your neighbors as yourself, and you wouldn't want to steal, kill, cheat on your wife, lie, not honor your mother and father. If you don't get it, I really don't know how to explain it some more. And to wrap it all up, in 1 Corinthians 13:13. This might be one of my favorite just lines. It goes, 3 things will last forever: faith, hope, and love. And the greatest of these is love. So, if you took anything out of what I'm saying tonight, just run after love. And more than just yourself, love the people you interact with that you don't know, your friends and your family, your spouse, your kids, your dogs, your animals, the land you have, the land you don't have doesn't really need to be loved, I guess. I don't know where I was going with that, but just love life. You don't know if you're going to wake up the next day, so you might as well enjoy today. And a funny thing to think about is tomorrow never happens. As soon as it hits 11:59 and you think it's about to be tomorrow, it becomes the next day, and then it's today. So you never really reach tomorrow. You're always in the now. So if you don't love now, how could you love tomorrow? It's not real. Like, okay, there's days of the week, but on Monday, tomorrow's Tuesday, right? On Tuesday, is that tomorrow or is that today? Just live in the moment and love it. And on that, I will go to bed. Hopefully this wasn't too messy to distract you from my ums, ands, and buts. But most importantly, Jesus is King and he loves you. And if you put your faith in him, he changes your life as he has mine. So, peace out.